that whole conversion of me into a Stepford girlfriend would have become a Stepford wife if things had graduated to that point. Now, when you are in a relationship with a man like that, fine, initially he might have lured you in with what appears to be loving witchcraft. I just want to love you, baby, and I'm going to make you love me so I can love you. But then it becomes, ain't nobody else gonna love you. And then it also then ends up becoming, if a man looks at you, he then becomes aggressive to that man, and also to you. So you start getting slapped because some dude thought you were cute in the mall. And then you also start basically facing a body bag because he got sick and tired of the threats you kept on making about divorcing him. I was gonna end up dead in that guy's life. So it starts in soft witchcraft, lives don't get taken, to death. And that guy graduated from soft witchcraft to death spells within weeks. The moment I said, no, I want nothing to do with you, that's when he started to become, to identify as Beyonce in Ring the Alarm. I'd be damned if I see another dude in your arms, and then death became the ultimate thing. So that was a man walking around naked in the park that was not necessarily erect, and so people should not necessarily have been scared of being raped by him. But then one day then eventually graduated to he's raping little girls in the park, walking naked. You don't just leave him be. You don't just leave such things unabated. If you don't deal with it now, it becomes a much more serious infringement. It becomes a much more serious, what is the word that I am looking for? It becomes a more serious offense. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is absolutely no end to what a person using spiritual means to get ahead can do, because it's anonymous, it is unseen, and the anonymity is what makes them graduate to grander heights of crime. It's what causes people that would not have ever killed because they were cowards to do so many human sacrifices, where people pass away remotely. In other words, they die in car accidents, brain aneurysms, heart attacks. And so for them, the blood that is spilled, given that they're not the ones that drove the knife into their hearts, they imagine they can spill more and more of it, which is why people in the occult are serial killers that are walking around freely. They are serial killers because they don't actually get their hands dirty. The occult does the work for them. Spiritual means does the work for them. So so I basically have a lot more respect for serial killers chilling in prison, having killed physical people. And so that's why they're in prison. Versus people that are literally the CEO of your company. He's your dad. It's your uncle. It's your mother. But she's got like a body count of 5. She's a serial killer, but it doesn't show. Every year there's a funeral in the family, but it doesn't show who's killed. They should be in prison. They are hardened criminals. They are the equivalent of maximum security type, and yet they're walking around respected, unfortunately, as well. Given that, like I said, it's your CEO. It's your company CEO. He is a respectable man in society, but he is no different from some Hannibal Lecter, some cannibal that eats the flesh of people, kills them, some serial killer like Ted Bundy, Moses Sithole. But he is literally Moses Sithole or Ted Bundy or Hannibal Lecter that is chilling oscillating on one of those spinning chairs in a big giant office saying MD of the company. He is Hannibal Lecter as your managing director. That's these guys. Who in the world sticks around? They start out with small rituals and they get really big. Why are you trying to come, occult practitioners, into the life of a woman that has been graduated to recognize that level of darkness? I am literally not up for grabs and I'm can't touch, can't tolagala. But now because I'm can't touch, can't tolagala, you think that killing me is okay. Exactly my point. You always graduate to death. You're dangerous. You're so dangerous that when a woman doesn't want to be with you, now she gotta die. When a woman doesn't want to touch you, when she would much rather courier you your handkerchief, you now say she gotta die. The problem is the fact that you get to the point where upon being frustrated from not getting what you want, I want, me, I want. When you get frustrated about not getting what you want, you easily turn to murder. It's so easy. It comes to you so in a way that it just doesn't with other people in society. So you prove, therefore, by easily graduating to murder, that you were right to be avoided in the first place. It was absolutely perfect to avoid you. So people in the occult that are pursuing me with death curses, duh, of course you're gonna get there. I was not outright from the very get-go pulled out of a hat like a little rabbit by magicians for death. They first came at my career. They came at my hair, make it fall. They came at my skin, make a break out. They came at romance, korobela. I'm gonna be with you, kankani. And when they got frustrated because I'm all Christian and I'm busy fighting these fiery darts of the enemy, then it became murder. I am salivated after for death. Human sacrifice rituals are being done on my life over and over and over again. Casually just like hooking up a spell to kill a person because she is frustrating. A baby throwing its toys out the cot. You want it now, you microwave baby. And if you don't get what you want, you're just gonna kill. Most people are not like that, witches. Of the Earth's citizens don't just quickly graduate to murder when they don't get what they want. We've got self-control. You guys are impetuous. You are incontinent like a baby that does not have a functional, anal sphincter to block poop from coming out when he needs to go. You don't have those controls in place anymore. By getting yourselves involved in the occult, you easily vomit death. It is so easy. Death is the very end of a human life. It is the most that you can ever do to a person to hurt them. And you easily graduate to that point. You seared your consciences to a point where not getting your ice cream as a little baby boy in the mall, instead of rolling on the floor and screaming and yelling because mommy won't buy you ice cream, you grab a knife at the Mr. Price home and you stab your mom in the store because you're like a crazy child. That's what you are. You no longer throw your toys out the cot when you don't get what you want like the rest of us, normal human beings who get upset because my boyfriend did not buy me flowers. You get upset because my mom wouldn't give me takeout money. You get upset because, And so you bang the door in the house. Little diva. We bang the door. You kill. We bang the door, you kill. We hang up the phone, you kill. We drive off at the speed of lightning in anger, leaving dust on your face, you kill. The things that people do when they're frustrated from not getting what they want, you think are too soft. You quickly, graduate. You quickly mature, if you want to even call it that, to murder. You are unsustainable in a society, frankly quite destructive. You are incontinent. You are incongruent in the way that you operate in society in comparison to other people. You are an anomaly, an outlier. You belong in maximum security prisons of countries that you live in, yet you are walking these streets freely. You've got blood on your hands. You go to the office the very next day after doing a human sacrifice ritual, and you wait for a person to die afterwards. You know that colleague that you cursed is going to get fired within a certain amount of time because of what you did, and you still go on right ahead to email them the minutes of the meeting. You're freaking crazy. You are insane in the worst way. In the worst way. And when your witchcraft does not work, you also then get frustrated with somebody not doing what you want them to do, and then you graduate to loftier heights of sorcery. Witches. Do you anticipate that society is just going to sit you out indefinitely without actually standing in the gap against you? You are trying to come for a woman that cannot be yours because you're too dark. Plus, you're the naked man walking around in the park. Whether or not I am aware of your capabilities or how far you would go is irrelevant. My point exactly. Every time I'm in the middle of some heavy work where I am speaking very important matters, my family members just persecute me for no reason at all. This is what it is that I'm endured to the tyranny, subjugated to the tyranny of. I'm dealing with crazy people that graduate, they go from height to height, to height, to height. Do you understand what I'm saying? Of darkness. And they will not reprieve you because of the fact that they feel entitled to getting exactly what it is they want from you. They just afflict you. Therefore, if you don't want to find yourself in a body bag, you will avoid these people. They're entirely avoidable. And there is a man in the US that is literally trying to kill me. So essentially, right now, I just got given some strange little speech that does not make any sense at all. I am not already working myself like a dog. Basically make my family members less, not family members, let me not put my little sister into it, to not make my mother go crazy. Because when this guy's witchcraft is operating, where he's trying to force me, my mom, it's wow, she gets itchy. It's she gets leprosy. It's there is something in her that just feels I can't let Ntofela go. I can't just let stuff go. Yeah, that's what's good. She will literally grab a magnifying glass and look for something, yell at me over. She will find it. She will literally sit right now, it's 21:58 at night. And I have not spoken anything with this woman other than hello. And 2 times she felt it necessary to raise issues that I am apparently afflicting her peace concerning. Guess what the issues were? I told you guys that last week she made a decision to basically withhold from me food that I eat, so I had to cook for myself. So there is food in the refrigerator that I am going to eat for an entire week, maybe even a week and a half, because I cooked for myself to make sure I've got food at night. And she kept quiet about that for a few days. And today, when I walked into the kitchen, I always avoid my mother because I don't want to. She just looks for something. She always is looking for something to yell at me concerning. And when she doesn't find it, she will find it. If she doesn't find it, she will find it. She's always at war with me that way. The demons that this man sends her, they agitate her so much that she cannot just take stuff lying down, if you know what I mean. So I always gotta dot my I's and cross my T's, and even that does not work because she will something. She will find something. So this afternoon, I had to go and pee. She was in the house, however, in the kitchen, however, doing whatever. I had to go and pee. I can't be holding my urine in. Guys, I went in, greeted quickly, hello, and I just literally swooshed like the flash. I swooshed right past her, used the bathroom, and I wanted to swoosh right out. But then she was like, "Garabo," with that horrible Godzilla-sounding voice all up in my grill, and I knew she wanted to yell at me for something. This is something that already the food has been sitting in the fridge for like 4 days now. And she raises it today. How pega rice? Where's the rice feel like a 1 cup? Because all you need is 1 cup. You have no idea rice. You don't need all that rice by yourself. Except I'm eating it over like a week, 2 weeks that it's sitting in the refrigerator. I'm gonna finish it. So you made a decision to waste rice that I would have finished. I cooked enough for the next week and a half to 2 weeks. So yelling at me for wasting rice, you're talking rubbish. Because you know I'm gonna eat it all. Whole bunch of rice that I cooked. I ate all of it. All that I threw in the dustbin was iskoko at the bottom. All of it. So what are you talking about? She found something to irritate me concerning. So when she starts to talk, I just walk out. I leave her mid-sentence because I know she's picking a fight due to the fact that she's being sent by a demon-worshipping man that is trying to push me over the edge to make me commit suicide or run back to him. Desperation is what is being spurred in my bones. So my mother is just this like puppet on a string that can't help but fulfill your wish is my command. The genie in the bottle, that she's the genie in the bottle. They rub her and she asks these occult practitioners, what shall I do for you? And everything they ask of her, your wish is my command. And the thing that they're always asking is hurt Garabo. So she will either commit suicide or finally flee to one of us, run to one of us. She will finally marry one of us because we are the lesser evil in comparison to her mother. So my mother is literally Iskova, just a zombie for the occult, just a zombie. She will find something. So I walk out. And now, because I walk out when she's busy mid-sentence talking about rubbish that doesn't even make sense, she has now gone on out of her way to trap me when I'm back here. Because she knows that if she can trap me, I will have to listen to the rest of everything she's saying. I walk out when my mom opens her mouth because she's just picking out of nothing. She is here to just agitate me. So now she traps me inside. So she should be basically about to sleep. Wapuma, something in her mind was just running. I gotta find something to raise no karabo. So I know okay, matimonia amoja. And since I am busy talking here as well, that's when she also a lot of times movement it could be quiet for like 3, 4, 5 whole hours. And then I start recording. And when I start recording, all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of activity outside where they're opening the door, coming out, talking, on the phone, moving. Yeah, it's demonic activity. Something in them makes them very agitated because this work is what they're trying to block. This work is what they're trying to prevent. So when I hear them shuffling around, moving, I try to continue talking, but if I can tell that the movement is right towards this door, I keep quiet to hear what's going on, and lo and behold, today, and she raised yet another issue that is a non-issue. She raised yet another issue that is a non-issue. Like, she will tell me, or us, 2 days ago, Dimangiza, because I want to save electricity. If there's anybody that is always missing her many rules that she comes up with out of nowhere, it's my little sister. Because she can afford to make a mistake. Because when she makes a mistake, she doesn't get a whole 24-hour yelling session, mistreatment, and all different kinds of energy and bad vibes slapping her. She's not abused. So she can make mistakes and survive them. I make one mistake, I promise you, I will be intimidated to a point of feeling like I might just lose a place to stay. That is the level of persecution I'm enduring under this woman. So when she gives rules, new rules that literally pop out of nowhere like a rabbit out of a hat, every so often, jot them down in my mind, and I don't miss a beat. I don't miss a beat. Literally, I cross every T and I dot every I. That's what I do. And it is that doing everything perfectly that then makes her manufacture new ways to persecute me. It is written in Romans 1 that the wicked will always invent new ways to sin. They invent new ways. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So this woman is always inventing new ways to frustrate the living creepy crap. The geyser, there was a time when she was busy switching it off a million times a day and then switching it on again. And it yielded no fruit. It bore no fruit for her at all. And so she went back to leaving the geyser on 24 hours a day. Now she has gone on right ahead again to switch off the geyser, trying to find something Jafela to pick at where I am concerned. So now she's busy switching off the geyser and switching it on again. Therefore, I always go, what do you call the what is this? The little DB box to check if the geyser is on or off. I check if the water is hot, and if it's hot, I'm the one that goes and I switch it off. If it's cold, I switch it on and I make a mental note to switch it off again. Essentially, I'm obeying her rules, dotting every I and crossing every freaking T. For crying out loud. But today, because I dot I's and I cross T's, given that she came up with a new freaking rule out of nowhere, now she's got a new rule on top of a rule. And guess what the rule that she now has is? When you use the water in the, what do you call this? I've got an electricity bill that is out of this world. And I'm like, Unamanga! You're lying! You're lying! You are lying! My mother does not have an electricity bill out of this world. We've got solar panels! For crying out loud! We use solar power. The only things that are run by electricity, montun, gistofo. And no, by stofo I mean oven. Because the main stove is gas. Do you understand? We gas. And so only once a week, if at all, somebody makes a decision to use the oven, which she hasn't done recently, because she hasn't been cooking recently. That's why I made my own food. So for the past month or two, the oven has not been getting used. It's the only thing that uses electricity at Eskom, right? Geyser, right? Yeah, the geyser, as well as the stove, uses electricity at Eskom. The past 2 months, she has not been using the oven. And I don't bake, nobody uses the oven. The stove on which we cook uses gas. So that does not consume any electricity. So essentially the electricity bill should be lower because of the lack of usage of the oven. I only used the oven once to make my chicken and then I was done. That is fewer times than what it is that usually in a normal month when she's not busy running a psychosis, the oven would be used because she usually cooks on the weekends using the oven to make chicken, but she hasn't done that for literally 2 months. So her bill should have gone down. Yeah, Eskom, yeah, electricity. And then the geyser is what do you call this thing? Kayona, Eskom, yeah thing. But it has not been a problem, an issue to a point of her switching it off and on again. Her problem is tabare when I work out in the evenings and then kishawara busiu and I use up what is this? It's very tiny. Everybody, my little sister, if she has showered, I have to wait for 2 hours in order to shower. It's been happening like that for months on end. Now all of a sudden there's an issue, despite there being no bill coming through for the stove and the geyser. Despite lighter and whatnot, she is claiming that I am wasting anything to raise. This woman is literally told, I don't care if there's nothing that she's not doing wrong. You gotta do something. To spotless. Find a spot. She's literally being told, make your own child a Cinderella. She is a zombie. This woman is a zombie. Like there is nothing left with my mother. I gotta leave this environment. So until then, I have to be very, very careful with what it is that I do. So now she came in, found an issue. It was like a eureka to her. Eureka. I found something to yell at her over. I found something to highlight. I found something to raise. That's what's good. And then she comes and she tells me, Worry, you better make sure that the water in the geyser is enough for me to shower in the morning when I wake up. We have a geyser literally the size of a peanut. A peanut, guys. So she's basically trying to yell at me for finishing hot, do you understand? When she runs out of it in the morning. She wants to shower the last remaining water that I used at night because she knows that I shower at night. And so because she knows that I shower in the evenings, she understands that she is going to have a cause to give me grief in the morning when she takes a shower and there is no hot water, or there is such little hot water that she is going to have to bath with lukewarm water later on. She's raising an issue. We have got a geyser that is the size of my molar tooth. Everybody uses up the whole geyser when they shower. Everyone. There is without exception. Inyani, she's the one that changed it up to be a small geyser to save electricity. And after that geyser was changed out, can't nobody shower and not finish the geyser. Even my little sister is the worst. She's the worst. Like, type of person, she will shower, switch off the shower water, switch it on, switch it off, switch it on, switch it off, do all different kinds of weird stuff, and you will wonder, why are you using up so much water? She is the biggest guzzler of water. But she does not shower at a time. Do you understand? Shortly afterwards, my mom has to shower. She showers somewhere in the middle of the day unless she goes to the gym. That's what's going on. So she is literally she has banked for herself future persecution, where she is going to wreak havoc in my life for using 3/4 of a geyser that is the size of my septum piercing, because she did not have enough water in the morning to shower with. She raised an issue out of nowhere, claiming she's got an electricity bill that is 5,000. She is such a liar. Those of you who live in South Africa, in a 2-bedroomed house, do you have an electricity bill, 5,000 rand a month? Do you? Well, without solar panels and with Eskom all up in your grill, like proper, despite power cuts. Do you ever get, for a small little house like that one, get a 5,000 rands bill for electricity? She literally stood there and lied right through her teeth and told me that her electricity bill is 5,000 rands and she wants to reduce it to 2,000 rands. You are not even paying 2,000. I wouldn't be surprised if my mom's electricity bill is under $1,000. Why? Because we've got neighbors in this complex that have got solar panels, and my mother's motivation to move over to solar panels was these neighbors, because they explained to her that ever since they hooked up solar panels, they only get a bill of 250 rands a month, and that is a bad month. Only $250, because everything else works on solar power in the house. And this man went on right ahead to advise my mother that you can even afford to take out things like the geyser out of the plan and the stove. And that's why she made a decision to allow the stove to work with electricity at Eskom. So therefore, what that means is that everything else in the house works else in the house operates using the freaking sun, except for the stove and the geyser. The oven of the stove in particular, of which has not been getting used for the past, and she claims that her bill is 5,000 rands. Yazzie, the devil is a liar. Those who worship him and follow after him are also liars. When you are such a pseudologia fantastica, when you're such a pathological liar, when you are such a chronological liar, when you are such a lifestyle liar, you know that your condemnation is nigh. Help but persecute me. And the reason why that is that are obviously lies. Things that are obviously lies. I mean, guys, like, you probably have to live in some estate mansion to garner an electricity bill of 5,000 rands. And she just told me that she pays 5 grand every month for electricity, and it needs to go down, and it's because of the geyser. She's trying to make me feel like I'm such a heavy burden on her that this got to be lifted off. Lomfazi is looking for something to pick at, and the thing that she is using, that is making her do this, is exactly that ritual that was done that I saw in my dream last night. The sorrow that is sitting on my chest right now. The death curse. Push her to suicide, or push her into my arms. Ring the alarm. I've been through this too long. I would be damned if I see another chick in your amba. Like this guy who identifies as Beyonce in the US. Every time his witchcraft is operating, every time he sparks up a new little thing, that's what happens. This thing, Giza, I don't know how long it's gonna last. In and of herself, I promise you this is a prophecy, only because it is a prediction that is an inevitability. It's more like a high probability in statistics. When something is highly likely to happen again, it's highly probable, even though it is possible that it might not happen. Given what's happened in the past, listen to this prophesied accuracy. I will come back a couple of weeks down the line and let you know. The very thing that she is claiming is the bane of her existence is going to suddenly fly out the window because she's lying. If at all she was really getting such a heavy, violent electricity bill, she would surveil this issue like a hawk. She would gaze upon it like a hawk. But she's eventually going to get sick and tired of looking at it herself. Why? Because I am the reason why she is embarking on this new strategy that she might find something to accuse me of. That's what's good. So in the next 2 or 3 weeks, the geyser is going to be lit all day long, and nobody's going to be giving me grief for showering using all the water. So I'm giving this new rule 2 weeks. All her rules don't last longer than 2 weeks. Recently, she had a rule saying that nobody must throw trash in the dustbin because she's the only one that takes it out. So now I'm the one that's taking all the trash out. So we've restored a plastic bag in the dustbin so that we can use it in the kitchen. There was a time when people were throwing trash into a plastic bag in a corner on the kitchen because she was telling us not to use the main dustbin. Within a week and a half, that rule was out of the window. But the thing that happened was that now I'm the one, the sole person taking the trash out. The rules always die that she comes up with, but they always get birthed from the ground because some little animal in the occult that wants to marry me gankani because he thinks he's freaking Beetlejuice has cast a spell. Have you seen the movie Beetlejuice? Day, me said day, daylight come and me no wanna go home. Yeah, Beetlejuice. There is a scene in the movie where he's trying to marry Gina Davis by force, or is it Winona Ryder, one of the two? And he keeps, like, she doesn't want to say I do to him, to marry him. And then he would put like a patch, some metal steel plate on her mouth to force her to marry. This guy reminds me of freaking Beetlejuice. Men in the occult that want to marry God's daughters, they like Beetlejuice. The woman is like, no, I don't want to marry you. And he's putting a metal plate on her mouth, saying, you're going to marry me by force. You're going to say, I do. If I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby. If I can't have you, whoa. So, I mean, Beetlejuice gotta die. Like, proper Beetlejuice gotta die. This little Beetlejuice is the reason why my mother, Ashanya Soul, and my mom of which deserves to be such a puppet on a string. Like, moved in Jeffela, like breath, like chaff, like stuff that is easily blown. She deserves to have this happen, because how in the world do you destitute your own child like this? How in the world do you cast spells on your own kid? How in the world do you insist your own child does not get married? How in the world do you How in the world are you going to use your own daughter to get ahead in life, decimating her entire future that you might gain your own? How are you going to do that to your own kid? So then when people in the occult use you as a puppet on a string and you no longer have your own faculties intact, you can't use your own brain. Now you're just a zombie being used as cove, like you're a glove to the hand of a man in the occult. When a man wants to put a boot print on my face, he goes on right ahead and enters your body and makes you wear those boots, and then you come wanong. You deserve to be a conduit for demonic entities in the occult. You deserve. You deserve to be used as a demonic conduit. You deserve to be indwelt, like proper, have your body be like set in by some animal in the occult. Or do think America astral project into your body and slap me. You deserve to slap me on behalf of some animal. Long story short, this woman deserves to lose her own child. She deserves to lose me, but I don't deserve to die at her hands. An animal, you're not going to kill me like an animal. You're not going to put me down. They're the ones that need to be put down. You're not going to make out of me a Prometheus. I am going to live to tell this story. And when I do, you can take Lomfa's way. No, go with her. Take my mom. She is easily used because she has given her life over to the devil. Grab my whole family, my little sister, my older stabonke, all of these animals that have abandoned me to die. This chaotic little circus, this apocalyptic mess that you have started with all of your rituals, your seances, and all of these random afflictions of innocent souls. Do it. But if at all I got married on this side, she will not even taste a single cent of my bridal price. She will not be at my wedding. She will have been a vessel easily used by people in the occult to afflict her own child. So frankly, you don't deserve to see your grandchildren. You don't deserve to see my husband. You don't deserve to see my apartment when I get it. You just deserve to be left in Ushiwe and continue to let these animals that are butchering your daughter, trying to murder your child through you. You deserve to have them do that to you. You deserve. You deserve to lose your own child. You deserve to lose your child. I will live, even though I am afflicted with depression, with despair. And when I survive, my family will deserve, essentially, go into the sunset, your dancer, dinja, with all of the men that used you to get to me kankani, all of the men that spiked my drink through the drinks that you gave me, all of this that men fed me through you, all of the things that men did, all of the slaps on my face, all of the acne on my skin that gave me acne scarring that happened on my face because you looked at the face of your own daughter and could not even spare $1,000 to have her see a dermatologist. You uncles and aunts that left me suffer like this. Yeah, proper. Go and grab your little animal in America in the flames of hell where he is going, and congratulate yourself as having him for a son-in-law, because he is indeed your son-in-law to somebody that he married in his big, fat, ugly, disturbed brain. He married me in his mind. So go and have the phantom of what he married by force. Niece, sister, and for a daughter. You will have the phantom that married a man in hell for a cousin, because the real Garabo, the real me, the real deal roaming these streets, walking around doing a lovely thing, she ain't never gonna be nowhere to be found by you. She is not a member of your family. She will be nowhere to be found. Malome ke hauka lora, the day you will receive lobola from me. The day you will negotiate amalobola for me. It happening. Namo life thing physically Garabo. Mara ghost e ngetseng toba ya kwa America yona e tla vuma bakhonyana that's what's good. Yona malobola teng a tla tsawa. Yona ghost eo le tla lo ipata ko West Park Cemetery. Ambani nyo conductor a funeral service since I've already passed away in your sight. I get tsamo patang sepoko se topo se sepoko. Go and bury is tombo se spoko. It's a spooky. Go and bury a dead body of a ghost. Because I ain't going nowhere. I will continue to live, but you will not see me. It will be like I am dead to you. For allowing yourselves to be conduits for satanic men to slap me most home, put a boot print, make out of me Ike Turner, try to cause me to commit suicide. You proper allowed yourself to be used by some devil worshipping animal that is a criminal in America. And so therefore, the ghost that he is married to in his crazy psychotic brain, take that. That's what God will give you. The Lord will give you the ghost of Karabo. The Lord will allow your little Beetlejuice in America and your Beetlejuice in South Africa. A whole bunch of these men, Badi Korobela, there's another one that I spoke about yesterday. Because I'm about to become a ghost to all of y'all. I'm about to get my life back. I am about to get my future. Do you understand? And when I get it, my family will be left with a ghost. It'll be like I am dead. They will never see me again. And this woman, from my womb, she will cry about not seeing her own grandchildren. As for you, little animal in America, shame on you, idiot. But no, then again, you don't really care about anybody saying shame on you because you're crazy. When you go to a crazy man on the street spinning around on the spot, you don't go, how dare you be naked in public. He does not care. He has lost his mind. So it's even what is this? Worthless for me to say shame on you. But I'll say it anyway. Shame on you for seeing that a woman is so severely abused and unloved and mistreated by her own family members. Abatwelenga each other. Batwele success. They have literally gone on right ahead to get success through destroying each other. They've pulled the rug from each other's feet. Nobody in the family is where they're supposed to go to be because Kauffeland's about busy about dubulana together. Boo 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 in the cosmos. No one. The whole family is a lost cause. My grandmother is probably tossing in a grave right now at the state of the family. I'm planted the way about Dagonga Kwanangimiti. Baloyana. They keep sending each other text messages saying, look at what Karabo is saying on YouTube. Look at this. Instead of looking at what Karabo is doing in Christ, they are looking at what Karabo is doing to fight the wickedness that they're in. Shame on you, evil little monster sitting in America, to find a woman living in such a circus as the one that I live in. To find a woman literally struggling with generational curses of witchcraft as I am struggling with them. A woman also trying to family because they've done all different kinds of evil things just to get ahead. You find a woman who is the only sober member of a family that crazy, and you're like, I'm gonna use that. Shame on you, crazy man. Shame on you for capitalizing on my mom's psychosis. Shame on you for capitalizing on the psychosis of my sisters. Shame on you for capitalizing on the psychosis of my aunties, of my uncle, of my extended family. All of them. Shame on you for realizing that I was born in Tortuga, that I was born in a jungle, that I'm like that little kid in the Jungle Book, raised by beasts, raised by little animals, raised by primates. And so frankly, I'm the only human being among them. Shame on you for realizing that, like in the movie The Pirates of the Caribbean, I live in Tortuga. You know where Tortuga is at? If you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, it is this cantankerous, like, random city or town where everybody there is drunk, nobody has manners, nobody wakes up and goes to work in the morning, everybody is just throwing their toys out the cart, everybody is always drunk and having sex and being merry. There is no order in Tortuga. Don't nobody even know how the people in Tortuga are able to be fat, because where are the farmers who are actually tilling lands? South Africa is Tortuga, and my family is like a special little family in Tortuga. Everybody is swinging on a chandelier because they think they are Sia. They have gone crazy with witchcraft. But left, right, and center, sense. And a man in America finds a woman living in a country that is exactly like the chaos in his brain. He lives in Tortuga in his mind. He's in another little version of Tortuga himself. And he's like, ooh, I found myself a nice little perfect bride. Because I'm going to get to have the best woman in the world. I'm going to get the best woman in the city, best woman in the town, because she just so happens to be born in Tortuga. All her family members are drunkards. Everybody in the country is insane. Everybody. This is the perfect country for him. He even wanted to move to South Africa, for crying out loud. When I was like, why would you want to move to a country that persecutes Christians? He's like, no, I want to leave America because it's Babylon. He was trying to scam me into moving into my country, and when I told him my nation is insane, up its nostrils, maybe even trank, fentanyl mixed with all different kinds of weird stuff. It is high on flakka, bashing itself against the walls. Everybody in this country is crazy. If at all they have not gone crazy from witchcraft, they are victims of witchcraft. Wonke umuntu is drunk from the insanity of South African sorcery. You cannot want to move to my nation. I gotta move to the US. I gotta go live where you live. You might be living in witchcraft in crazy central California, but it ain't got jack on South Africa. That's what I said to him. But he was like, no, I insist. We have to live in South Africa. I was like, how are you gonna want to move somewhere where the woman that you fell in love with and married was so abused because of being Christian? You're a Christian man, you're not going to get any reprieve. He knew he wasn't Christian. He knew that he was just moving to where exactly he would fit in. He was just going to come into his own hometown. He would have blended in perfectly in South Africa because he is high on trank. He's like those people in Philadelphia walking around looking like zombies in the streets, the way that in and of himself. So of course he would blend right in South Africa. It would be like his own back freaking yard. He would be right at home. Right at home. No wonder he wanted to move here. He knew he would have the perfect climate, the right entities, the right principalities, the right zombies operating in favor of him to keep his wife in a bunch. He would have been married to a woman that would have been literally iskova, a zombie, a puppet on a string, somebody dazed and ever catatonic under spells, perpetually being cast by a husband that is going to be supported by a family that is like, consider yourself at home, consider yourself part of the family. He would have been part of the family. He would have blended right freaking in. It is no wonder he wanted to move here. But the Lord cut that apart. He cut it short. He severed it. He made sure that I am not going to marry yet another citizen of Tortuga as a person born in Tortuga, very unfortunately, however, not fitting into Tortuga. He would have come here and grooved me further into the depth of the darkness of my crazy country. What in the world? America, shame on you. I think you all are listening. This little animal in America cannot be reasoned with, but shame on you for setting a cancerous, chaotic, like desert freak, prisoners free state of California. Because now one of your little animals is swinging on a freaking chandelier because he thinks he is Sia and he identifies, given that you're always proliferating this random identifying with animals crap in America. Now he identifies as Beyonce and Ring the Alarm, and he's telling himself he'll be damned if he sees another man in my arms. Thank you, and shame on you. Also thank you, but shame on you. Thanks for nothing, America. All of these aliens landing in your backyard in Las Vegas, you deserve them because you've got some living among you. Thank you for setting that beast free, because now he is the bane of my existence and he's trying to move to my crazy country because he fits right in. You are literally unleashing terrorists on the earth, unleashing entire animals on the earth, and then claiming you didn't do it. And then you have the brazen audacity to interview some of them by conservatives in your country. Andrew Tate is no different from this little beast chilling all up in my hair, making like a tick. He's no different, but he's busy getting interviewed by Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. You have gone so crazy that you can't even realize the level of destruction you are causing with all of your stupid purge laws. One of your purge laws has literally unleashed an animal, a beast, a pest in my hair. And he's causing my family to swing more on chandeliers than they already were. Thank you very much for adding new citizens to a Tortuga that frankly needed to be exterminated. Some bomb from the sky needed to neutralize all the citizens of Tortuga, but no, like cockroaches, they keep on surviving nuclear explosions. So it appears there is nothing I can do. Thank you, America, for unleashing your little animal on me. I'm signing out in Christ's name, Cran K.